Hello and welcome to this video presentation. My name is Kate and I'm a Senior Advisor at Wynsam Wealth. Our company assists your company with employee benefits such as medical aid and your pension fund. Today we're going to talk about the company standard medical aid. But before we jump into it, I'd like you to take down our contact details. Here they are. I suggest that you save them as a contact on your phone because you are going to need to get hold of us sooner or later. Your company medical aid is with Momentum Health, and what I'd like to do today is take you through the option on Momentum Health that we advise for most people and show you how you can get the best value for money from that option. The medical aid is made up of 4 parts. The first is hospital cover, then chronic cover, your day-to-day savings, which in this case is called a health saver, and finally we add a gap cover. The hospital cover covers everything that happens in a hospital. So that would be things such as operations, scans, scopes, and it can also cover small procedures that might take place in the doctor's office, such as having your toenail removed. The chronic cover covers medication that you need to take on a monthly basis. Now, not all chronic conditions are covered on every option, but here we have a list of the 26 conditions that are covered on every option. Have a look at the list. If your condition is not listed here, then please contact us so that we can see if there is an option that will cover your condition or not, and then advise you on that option. And remember, even if your condition is covered, it doesn't mean that the full amount for each medication would necessarily be covered. Then we have the day-to-day savings, the health saver. Now this pays for everything that happens outside of hospital. So that could be things like GP consultations, dentistry, optometry, physio, and over-the-counter medication. All of those things are going to come from this savings benefit. Finally, we've added an extra product, which is a gap cover. The gap cover tops up the medical aid. It pays for shortfalls and co-payments. It tops up things that your medical aid has already partially paid from your hospital benefit. It will not cover things that come from your savings benefit, such as GP consultations or over-the-counter medication. It also enhances your cancer cover and will help pay for the prosthesis should you have a joint replacement. I'd like to take you through the option that Wynsam Wealth has advised for 90% of people. It's called the custom option. The reason it's called the custom option is because you can customize it to fit your family's needs. What I'd like to do is take you through the 3 choices that you need to make in order to customize this option for you. The first choice that you're going to make is in terms of the hospital cover. Now, you can choose between using any hospital in South Africa or an associated hospital. An associated hospital is one that is contracted to Momentum. There is a list of associated hospitals. Please ask HR to provide this list for you. If you can find an associated hospital near to you, we suggest that you use one of those hospitals because this will make your premium cheaper. The second choice that you're going to make is in terms of your chronic provider. Again, you can choose to get your chronic medication from any pharmacy in South Africa, or you can choose an associated provider. The associated providers are Dis-Chem, Clicks, or Medipost, who will deliver your medication to you. The last option in terms of chronic provider is the state option. This is where you can get your chronic medication from the state. Now, a lot of people who do not need chronic medication choose this option because it is a lot cheaper. Or perhaps your chronic is not covered at all by the medical aid, or your chronic medication is very cheap on a monthly basis. This might be the right option then for you to choose. The final choice that you're going to make is in terms of your health saver, your day-to-day savings account. Now, most medical aids are going to tell you how much you're going to put into that account on an annual basis. But because this option is customized, you get to decide how much you're going to put into it. This means if your family is not a particularly healthy family, they go to the doctor a lot, you can put more money in. Whereas if you're a healthy individual who hardly ever goes to the doctor, you can put less in. You customize it to suit you. But why don't we take a look at an example of how you're going to customize this option? What we have here is an extract from the Momentum brochure, and I'd like to run you through the example so you can see how you make your choice. Our example is a family of 4 people. There are 2 adults and 2 children. Now, they're a fairly healthy family. The father does have high blood pressure and he takes pills on a monthly basis. The cost is about 150 Rand. The mother wears glasses, which she has to replace every 2nd year. Other than that, they're fairly healthy. So how are they going to make their choice? Remember, the first thing they need to choose is the hospital option. They can choose between any or associated hospitals. They look at the list and they see that there is an associated hospital near them. They're quite happy to use it, so they decide they're going to go for associated hospitals. Now they need to choose their chronic provider. Because the father does take chronic medication, he decides that he will use the associated chronic provider. The associated chronic provider is going to be Dis-Chem because there's one in a mall near him. So their final choice is then associated hospital, associated chronic provider. They're a family of 4 people, so the premium that they're going to pay is 3,489 Rand. Remember, that premium is for the hospital and chronic cover. They haven't yet added their day-to-day savings. But when they have a look at it, they see that the state chronic option would be a lot cheaper than the one they've chosen. It's 2,839 Rand. That's 650 Rand cheaper on a monthly basis. The father's medication only costs 150 Rand. So it doesn't really make sense for them to choose an option that's going to cost 650 Rand more to cover medication that only costs 150 Rand. So they make a decision to rather choose the state chronic option and pay for that medication from their day-to-day health saver. But how do you work out what you're going to need in your day-to-day savings account? Well, the best way to work it out is to take what you spend per year on average for your family, divide that amount by 12, and that will give you a monthly amount that you need to put into your health saver account. So let's look at the example of our family. They're a fairly healthy family, but they do go to the doctor at least twice a year each, so that gives us an amount of about 2,800 Rand. They also have antibiotics at least once each a year. That gives us about 800 Rand. They would go to the dentist each once a year for a checkup, maybe some fillings. That's 1,400 Rand. Then they get colds and flus like everybody, so they need over-the-counter medication. About 1,600 Rand, let's say, for that. Then the mother wears glasses. She only has to replace them every 2nd year. So it's about 2,000 Rand a year for those. And then finally, remember, the father's blood pressure medication is going to have to come from the savings account. It's 150 Rand a month, times the 12 months, about 1,800 Rand a year. So that gives us a total of 10,400 Rand for the year. Divided by 12, 866 Rand per month that they need to put into their savings. So how much are the family going to pay in total then? Well, the basic premium, which pays for the hospital and chronic cover, is going to be 2,839 Rand. Then the savings account, your 866 Rand, and that gives us a total of 3,705 Rand. So I hope this example has shown you how easy it is to take this option and customize it to your family's needs, to make sure that you're paying for the things that you need and not for the things that you're not going to use. But before you customize your option, while you're thinking through the process, there's a few things that we want you to remember. The first thing would be, when you customize your option, base it on your needs now. We don't necessarily know what's going to happen tomorrow, and we don't want you to pay for things that you're not going to use. So base it on today. You can change your option, your hospital and chronic cover, once a year, which is effective in January every year. In around October, November, we do these changes. You will be contacted, you will be given a summary of what the changes are going to be, and you may call us if you need advice on your option change. Your health saver, though, you can change anytime you want to. You can increase it or decrease it to fit your needs. And remember that your health saver amount carries over from year to year, so if you don't use all the money, you're not going to lose it. The gap cover. Remember, it's an extra added product. It's not part of Momentum. so claims on gap cover are not automatic. If you've been to hospital and there's been a shortfall or you've had to pay a co-payment on the bill, please contact us because you very likely have a gap cover claim and we can help you process that. The custom option has an admission co-payment of R1,100 for every hospital admission. You will need to pay this up front, but then you can claim it back from the gap cover afterwards. I hope you can see how this custom option makes so much sense because you can customize it to your needs. We don't want you paying for things you're not going to use. If you need help or advice in terms of how to customize your option and you're not 100% sure, perhaps you have chronic needs that were not covered here, please feel free to contact us. One of our advisors will have a one-on-one conversation with you and we can make sure that you pick the right option. Thank you so much for joining us for this video today, and please contact us anytime you need.